Hello, everyone. This is Rita Wolfson, and I'm so glad you've joined me today for our 6 Simple Steps to a Debt-Free Holiday. This webinar and ebook is something that I care very much about, and here at the Center for Financial Social Work, there was definitely a number of different opinions about whether this was too early to do this session, but I felt pretty strongly that if we want to help people to be more proactive about their spending for the holiday season, we needed to tackle that issue before most people started shopping. Although we will be asking you when you begin your shopping. So some of you may have begun already, but now you're going to have new tools and new skills and our workbook program. So thanks for joining us, and we can get started right now. So I am excited that we're able to bring this to you. The program we've developed is comprehensive and dynamic in its approach, and it's very much created to eliminate the traditional stress and anxiety which follows holiday spending too often as a result of the unpaid bills and the unrelenting cycle of financial problems which too often accompany them. So working this program will set you on the path to a more stable and financial future. It will help you to spend less this holiday season and be in a much better position going into the new year. A few housekeeping tasks so that you can see that rectangle up in the right-hand corner. You'll see that there is a question box. You can put questions in there, and we will have time for Q&A at the end of the session. If I ask some questions during the session, please feel free to put your answers in that question box. So I call it a question and an answer box. Additionally, if you click on the double arrows right up here, you can reduce the rectangle so that you can see the whole slide. And I do love when our sessions can be interactive, so I may be asking you to raise your hand. I do have 5 participation polls for you today, and again, at the end of the session, we will be taking questions and giving answers. Today's agenda. This is part of the welcome and overview. Then I'll explain very briefly who and what Financial Social Work is and the Center for Financial Social Work. And at the end of the session, I have one brief slide to tell you the specifics about the certification. So I will be presenting, if I can get my mouse working, I will be presenting an overview of the 6 simple steps, and then an explanation of each of the steps. Then I'll briefly speak on the certification program, and then I'll take your answers, just so you have some idea what to expect. So to get started, we can do our first poll. We'd love knowing who is in our audience, and if you're from a different country, which we very frequently have, you can write that into either you can press other, or you can write the country you're from in our question and answer box. Okay, so 71% of you have told us, and interesting. Okay, so we do have some people from some other places. Canada, welcome. New York, well, I think those are great cities and states, but they are part of the United States. Who else? Okay, let's go ahead and close this poll, 84% of you shared. And let me show you where people are from. So most of you are from the Midwest, and then we have the South, Northeast, and the West. Previously, we used to do the first poll question about which profession, you know, if you were a case manager, a community action, a social worker. We've only begun doing this, and it's really interesting to see where everybody is and where everybody's from. So thanks. Let's go ahead. I will close that and see. We will just keep going here. So the goal of the Center for Financial Social Work is to contribute to personal, professional, and financial change. And our mission is to help men and women begin the journey to sustainable long-term behavioral change. And knowing our goal and our mission should help you to understand why we would be doing this webinar today. Very often our webinars are more focused on specific pieces of client work, but certainly having a debt-free holiday applies to, you know, all of you certainly on the session and to everyone that we work with as clients. No, that's happened to me before when I click on the wrong place. Okay, so what makes financial social work so special? We think it's the FSW, Financial Social Work process, because it's all about engaging clients and then providing ongoing education, motivation, validation, and support. I know for a fact from the 16 years I've devoted to my work that this is what people need to create sustainable long-term financial behavioral change. Also, it needs to be experiential, strength-based, interactive, introspective, and those are all of the things that financial social work focuses on. So it mostly begins with a person's relationship with money. It's our relationship with money that drives our financial behavior, and our financial behavior totally determines our financial circumstances. Very, very important piece of all of this work and of financial behavioral change. And the reason that we focus so much on that is because change is a process, and taking greater responsibility for your financial future requires more than just new financial skills. It is a very personal, individual, and emotional choice that we have to make day by day, week by week, month by month, sometimes minute to minute, and hour to hour. And so you have a foundation here for the webinar session now and for our 6 simple steps to a holiday, debt-free holiday. This is what it's all built on. I have woven in all of these pieces for you so that you can do this for yourself, create it for yourself and help your clients to do so. These are just a few of our agencies where we have certified people, social workers and non-social workers. So at holiday time, it's important to remember and to distinguish between materialism, and I have the definition there, and consumerism, and neither one is your friend. And of course, to distinguish between materialism, consumerism, and the true meaning and spirit of the holiday season. What does it mean to you? The 6 simple steps are designed to help you figure out exactly what you need to do and how you need to do it in a way that helps you avoid spending money you don't have on gifts you can't afford. So it's very customizable. It's not about telling you what to do. It's about helping you with the questions we ask and the various forms that we include and suggestions and ideas that we share, for you to take these and personalize them. I don't know what any one of the hundreds of people in our audience needs specifically to do. Only you know that you are the expert on your own life. So let's do another poll. What is your favorite shopping day of the holiday season? Let's see. Is it Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Small Business Saturday? Well, I see that some of you do the same thing that I do. Interesting. Some of you definitely like all of them. I think this program and ebook can help you. Okay, 75% of you have voted. Anybody else want to vote? I'll count it down. 5, 4, 3. Go ahead and get your vote in. 2, 1. Okay, I will close it and I will share it with you. Okay, so many of you, the majority of you, do the same thing I like to do when I can, and that's to shop the after holiday sales. After that, most of you like Black Friday. I'd be curious to know whether you're out there in all those shoppers. You've probably read that Macy's will be open. Most Macy's stores will be open on Thanksgiving Day. Wow. I'm just not sure what to say about that. I'm sure many stores will be open on Thanksgiving Day and for as many days as they can possibly be open. In case you don't know it, retailers do between 20 and 40% of their sales in November and December. That is a very important time in the retail business. So thanks for sharing, and we can go on. I like to add a little humor when and if possible. So why 6 steps? Well, it took a while to come up with these steps and to make sure that they work together to make it so much easier and more possible for all of our students, our graduates, and our whole financial social work community to really make this work for you. I think more than 6 might be too many, and fewer. I just felt really strongly that we needed all 6. So this is the cover of our new ebook. I'm really excited about it, and you will be receiving it for having registered and attended. We created it to provide you with the information, motivation, understanding, and commitment needed to spend less during the holiday season. It's a program meant to enable you to celebrate more while you spend less, not only during this holiday season, but after. And you'll be glad you did, because you won't be burdened by the debt of gifts you barely remember buying and giving, and which friends, families, and others may barely remember opening and receiving. The approach is based on financial social work philosophy that until you take control of your money, you can never feel or be in control of your life. And this program and this approach is for anyone who wants to keep the meaning and spirit of the holiday season and avoid its stress and commercialism. And you can feel free to share the workbook, to make copies of the forms we're about to go over, and to tell others that they too can use this workbook to create a debt-free holiday for themselves. I'll just give you a quick look at the table of contents, and then I believe we'll get right into it. So 6 steps. The first one is to make the choice and the commitment. It always comes down to choice and commitment. It doesn't happen by itself, because change is a choice, and commitment is the method that actualizes the choice. That's really important. I will be showing you copies of most of our forms, but I didn't include the commitment form. It's really a critical piece, though, because making the commitment is making the choice and making the effort to take greater responsibility for your own personal and financial future, and of course for a debt-free holiday season. All change comes down to commitment. And the commitment pledge, which is in the book, and it's what starts the ebook out, is the method which provides you with the specific actions that you need to take. Oh, I'm just looking at the questions, and someone shared that we were missing a choice, and that was choosing not to shop at all. Well, that's great. And you're right, and I apologize for not including that. So I could do certainly an entire session on commitment. It is foundational to our certification program, to our client program, and it's a really foundational component of our 6 steps program here. But we have a lot of other things to cover in our time together, so we're going to move on to create your spending plan and log. And this is the section where, or the step that we have probably the most slides on. And here we'll start with another poll. This is the 3rd out of the 5 that I have for you today. Let me find it and share it with you. When do you do your holiday shopping? I have a feeling I know what this may look like. Okay, I was wrong. I like being wrong sometimes. Okay, 62% of you, 68%, 70%. I don't want to spend too much time here. If more people aren't going to vote, we're up to 75%. Does anybody else want to go ahead and share with the rest of us when you do your holiday shopping? We got to 79%. Nobody wants to take us over 80. Okay, we're at 81%. I'll count it down for anyone that still wants to give us their opinion. So that would be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I will close it and I will share it. Okay. So most of us either do it in December or do it throughout the year. I would have to admit that I do it throughout the year when I see the right thing at the right price. I would also have to say that in our family, we don't do a tremendous amount of gifting. But okay, I am going to hide that and we can keep going. Thanks for participating, everyone. Here, according to Value Click Media, this is what had given me the idea to use this question. 39% of people do their shopping before Halloween. Okay, our group does not go along with that. We only had 2%. I'm hearing some funny noises. And 40% do it in November. Again, we were only, those of us on the call were at 17% in November and 21% in December. We were higher in December. Okay, they didn't survey people on the day after Christmas or throughout the year. That's not what they're interested in knowing about us. We more want money-wise people. So there are actually 3 forms in the Create Your Spending Plan and Log section of the workbook program. The first is your gift expense form, and the second is your supplementary holiday expense form. And I will show those to you in a minute. Your gift expense form is where you identify who you plan to buy gifts for and how and where you can reduce your gifting expenses. And then the supplementary holiday expense form is where you identify all of the other expenses that you have during the holiday season. Gift giving is a major holiday expense, like it or not. It is an expectation of the holiday season, but that doesn't mean that it's locked in, sealed in cement, can't be changed. It absolutely, your gift list should and needs to be rethought, reevaluated, and most likely reduced. Now, this is not a session on how to reduce your expenses specifically, or how to shop, or where to shop to save money. This is about providing you with tools and skills and insight on how to have a debt-free holiday. So gift giving, the gift expense form shows you who you plan to gift and how much you plan to spend. Some of these forms could be considered simplistic, but what they do is provide you with one place to collect all of this information and evaluate it so that you are a more money-wise person, shopper, and someone focused on a debt-free holiday. So here you see a copy of the gift list cost estimates, where you look at how much you plan to spend and any alternatives or whether to remove that person from your list. So we are coming to the end of our polls, but let's just do this one quickly. This is number 4. What are your major holiday expenses other than gifting? So I need to find that poll. You can choose, it asks you actually for 2, and so you can choose more than just one on this poll. Okay, 30-some% of you have voted. Okay, we're over 70%. So I will start to count it down if anybody else wants to give us some insight. We're at 79%. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 81% of you voted. I am going to go ahead and close this and share it with you. Okay. Without a doubt, entertaining is the winner or the loser. It's where we spend a lot of money at the holiday season. A good poll question, I think, might have been, do you spend more on gifts or on ancillary expenses at the holidays? So I'm going to hide that and make sure. Okay. I see that some of you are sharing thoughts and ideas, and I'm really excited to look at them. And I will do that when we get towards the end of the session, just so I cover all of this information. And I so appreciate your sharing. Actually, I wonder how much, if any of you want to share. I ran out. I can only ask you 5 questions, which is probably more than enough in a 1-hour session here. But how much, you can put this in the answer box if you'd like, how much do you think the average American will spend in 2013 on holiday gifts and goodies? I was able to come up with that number today. So here's your supplementary cost estimates. You can see decorations, gift wrap, entertaining, clothing, travel, and miscellaneous are included in that. So these things definitely can add up quickly and become more expensive than your gifting. And in this graphic, which I think might be from 2011? Yes, 2011. It was a little early to get these statistics for 2012 or 2013. But you can see that breakdown of how people's supplemental expenses add up, just for your own insight. And so this form provides a place to examine, itemize, and assess those extra holiday costs, and certainly to look at where you can cut them back. And I can assure you, when you put something in writing, such as the commitment, such as completing these forms, you will have access to information totally capable of making you rethink how you spend at the holiday season. And finally, your holiday spending log. This is where it all comes out. This is where you put in your budget and you start writing in what you're spending. And on a daily basis, right here, you know how much money you have left to spend. So a holiday spending log will help you to limit impulse buying and to create a holiday filled with more spirit than spending. And that's always something to celebrate. So your holiday spending plan and log will prevent overspending when you use it to predetermine all of your holiday expenses. But it will only be as helpful and as good as the time and effort you devote to it. The tools are there. They won't do themselves. So hopefully having them all in one place, having them at this point in time for those of you who still plan to do holiday shopping, you have something very helpful and valuable, because your time and your effort are the energy and momentum which use this tool to achieve success. So it's very important to keep updated so that you know who you've already purchased gifts for, who else you need to shop for. And along the way, if you use these forms and tools, and some of you may choose to put them on the computer, however you use them, you will most likely see places where you can reduce your expenses. And this particular form will help you to change the thoughts, feelings, and attitudes, which, if you remember, are the foundation of your relationship with money. So if you're working to have a healthier relationship with your money, you will use these tools. They will help you to change how you feel about your money, how you spend it, and they will enable you to create this less expensive, less stressful holiday season, because you will know the details of your holiday spending on a daily basis. It's not a it's not just keeping it in your head. Many years ago, when I started doing all this, and I was teaching how to create a savings and spending plan, one woman in the audience told me that she would sit by the post office and write her checks, and that she had a running total in her head of what her expenses were. I can assure you that is not an accurate or a positive or good use of a savings and spending plan. So your holiday spending log itself helps you to create a holiday filled with more spirit than spending. So we're on develop 5 holiday spending guidelines, and this is an incredibly proactive step that should really be helpful to you, because what you do is use these guidelines to avoid making the same mistakes you've made in the past, falling into the same spending traps, by addressing them upfront, proactively. These will help you to stay focused on not overspending or making choices impulsively. And so the process is to identify 3 major holiday spending problems you've experienced in the past 1 to 3 years. Then identify a few changes you can do to make these problems much less of a sabotaging of your debt-free holiday. That's important. So I have some examples for you. This one has 5. So if you're someone who tends to buy anything just to get it done because you're tired, you might make a guideline of not shopping when you're tired. Only shopping at companies with a good reputation. Avoiding the pressure of limited time specials. You know, especially online, whether it's and anything that's online, auctions especially, for a limited time, 24 hours. If that's going to cause you to buy impulsively, you want to avoid them, and having that guideline will help you. I will update my holiday spending log daily. Well, I think that belongs on everybody's list. I will wait 24 hours before making a purchase over $80. You can use your guidelines to improve your holiday season and to make it debt-free. I won't go through all of these. Here on number 2, on the one on the left, I will give myself permission to make at least 20% of the gifts myself. I will not exceed the budget I set for my holiday spending. I will not take it, on the one on the right, I will not take the children with me holiday shopping. That's, of course, if they tend to make you spend more or not focus. The bottom one on the peach example, I will spend at least $200 less this year. Well, by knowing that, you can be much more connected to the spending that you are doing that when you have these guidelines. And I recommend you make several copies and place them where you can access them easily and quickly, in your purse, in your wallet, by your computer, with your credit cards, wherever you will be most likely to use your holiday spending guideline examples, no, those were my examples. Okay, so number 4, be and stay informed using apps. I can't claim to be an expert on apps, but in today's world, there are many. They can help you to manage your holiday spending, layaway, remove yourself from unwanted catalogs. Many of you in the audience probably know some of these, but in this ebook, we have included those on budgeting, price comparison, the best deals and sales. There are many, and we gave you a really good cross section of coupons and rewards, guidance on when to buy. They are all there, and I hope you will use them. Of course, as the holiday gets closer, there will be additional apps, there will be additional scams, there will be all kinds of things. This is mentioned in the ebook, and it will be important for you to stay updated so that you can have the best tools and skills and avoid any scams. So, which of these would you or have you ever used for holiday expenses? And this is our last poll. So I will launch it. Yes, I guess some of you have figured out that you can check off more than one. Okay, 66% of you have voted. I will give you another few seconds. 75. Should we get up to our 81 that we usually get here? And I will count it down. 5, 4, 3. Oh, we're up to 82. Yay. 2, 1. And I will share it with you. So, pre-holiday sales is definitely the winner, and re-gifting. I wanted to do a segment here on re-gifting. I've read some interesting articles on re-gifting, and I also wanted to mention that layaway seems to be back in a big way. I know that last year some of the layaway stores included Toys R Us, TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Kmart, Hallmark, Burlington Coat Factory, and certainly Walmart has been at the forefront this year. And for any of you, if you have a pencil and you want to jot this down, there is a website I just came across. It is called elayaway.com. That's elayaway.com, and I believe that is where you can actually lay away things on the internet. Okay, so let's hide that last poll and keep going. Okay, number 5, embrace motivation, support, and self-care. I think that's a really important piece, and I hope you do too. It is, doing this, embracing motivation, support, and self-care are important year-round, and changing behavior, is a process. And using ongoing motivation, support, and self-care is an important part of that process. It enriches our lives, and it will help to create a debt-free holiday. And we all know the stress of debt, the anxiety that accompanies it. So this ebook program includes what I think is a terrific journaling page with lots of inspiring quotes to help you find positive things to journal about. And you use journaling to envision and plan a better future and to figure out how to create that better future. Journaling is a very beneficial kind of holistic tool. So our coping with financial stress and problems is another very helpful page with with lots of helpful suggestions, such as surrounding yourself with positive and supportive people, knowing that there is always hope, certainly identifying your spending triggers so you can avoid them and not allow them to sabotage your good intentions this year. Obviously, we could talk for a very long time on differentiating between wants and needs, and simplify your life and learn to breathe. I know people often laugh at that, but there's breathing and there's breathing. As a matter of fact, I think I'll take a deep breath right now. Also recognize what triggers stress, not only spending, and reduce the opportunity for both spending and stress triggers. And as we get towards the end, we're on number 5 now. You can be thinking if you have any questions, comments, or feedback that you want to put in the question box. And we come to number 6, which is to assess, update, and reinforce daily. Today is the 17th of October. We have, 2 months and a week or so before the holiday season. This is the time to get a handle on your spending, and the way to do that is with follow up and follow through from start to finish. Again, I believe that having all of this together in one place will simplify that process, and having these things in writing will facilitate identifying places to make changes in your spending and reduce the spending. It's important to remember what an expert you are on your own life. You don't have to follow anyone else's advice. That's why I know better than to try to tell you what you should do, how you should do it. You know, if you spend time with yourself, if you journal, if you use the coping page, if you write this all down, you will connect with your money and connect with your goal of a debt-free holiday and succeed with a debt-free holiday. So honor yourself and your right to have your own goals and believe in your ability to achieve them. You have the right, the opportunity, the responsibility to do this for yourself and for your family. Because buying holiday gifts on credit with the intention of paying for them in the future, what does that really mean? Well, it means that you get to experience their very negative impact for a very long time, well into 2014 and possibly into 2015. The cost from this debt and interest remains a stressor in your life because it continues to grow over the months or even the years. And a few years ago, I did read research that said that the majority of people spent the year following a holiday paying off their holiday debt. So that little graphic shows you some of the warnings from the bills. So you need to schedule time assessing, updating, and reinforcing your plan each day. It isn't worth anything if you're not going to keep it timely. And we have a self-assessment form where you can measure your own success and identify potential challenges. So that's a really proactive approach to success. Knowing which of your actions and behaviors are working for you and which are working against you. So now you have information which will help you to succeed and keep you focused on maintaining the original commitment that you made. That's why this is so exciting to me. You have these tools right at your disposal. I've always said that self-assessment is the gift that keeps on giving because it allows you to always know whether what you're doing is or is not in your best interest. And it's definitely no fun to discover that it's not in your best interest, but if that is the reality, you will know it and you can correct that behavior. I think that's very exciting. So Financial Social Work's 6 Simple Steps to a Debt-Free Holiday is a progressive approach to simplify and maximize the success process. And when I say it's progressive, each of those steps, the commitment is the first step. But where the magic happens and change happens is by step number 6, assessing, updating, and reinforcing daily. That's where you see if and where and how and why you're sabotaging your success. So you need to do it on a daily basis. And you are free to make as many copies of the various forms and the journaling pages as you may need. And this is the Debt-Free Holiday Self-Assessment Form. It's very simple. You can look at what you did best and validate that behavior. Identify where you can improve and use that so that tomorrow you do something different. And identify what challenges you face today, and then recommit to a debt-free holiday. And list the reasons that you decided that this was the time and the year to do this. And here they are, the 6 simple steps. Make the choice and the commitment. Create your spending plan and log. Develop your spending guidelines. Stay informed, be informed, use apps. Embrace motivation, support, and self-care. Assess, update, and reinforce daily. In the ebook, you will have several of these little coupons that you again can cut out and place where you will see them often. And believe me, just seeing them will be helpful. It will keep you connected to the steps and to your goal and your commitment. So put them in your wallet, by your credit cards, in your purse, by your computer, by your bed, wherever they'll be the most help to you. You can definitely invite your friends, families, colleagues, and clients to go to our website and download their own copy of this ebook workbook program. We want to share it. That's why we created it, and we're giving it away free. And so now you know the foundational concepts and philosophy of financial social work. And in closing, I just want to share one slide with you so that you know a little more about the thousands of people who have become certified in financial social work. There are 5 workbooks to the program. It is self-paced, self-study, and our students have 6 months to complete it. And there is an online exam which students have 2 weeks to complete in order to become graduates. And it is built upon the same principles I just shared with all of you in how and why we created the 6 Simple Steps workbook program. The cost is only $495, and the National Association of Social Workers includes 20 CEs for the certification. Before going to the Q&A, which we have plenty of time for, I would like to tell all of you about our very, very, very special November 12th webinar, Connecting Clients to Consumer Financial Protection. We are partnering with Social Justice Solutions and the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, who will be bringing you this wonderful webinar on how to connect clients to consumer financial protection. And I can honestly say that the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is just an amazing organization. I am excited and honored that they are doing this for us, for our community, and I hope that if you or your clients have ever felt taken advantage of by dishonest financial practices of lenders or businesses, that you will attend, because you will learn so much. If you registered for this session, you should receive that invitation in the mail in the next week or so. Additionally, you will receive an email with the recording of this webinar, along with our 6-step ebook. So I am ready for any questions you want to throw at me. I will look at any that you may have already submitted. Let's see. Well, there certainly are some. Let's go. So, someone shared it's good to be back, and I am glad to have you here. Some of you wrote in that it's the day after Christmas. Somebody suggested none of the above for when we shop. Maybe we should add to our options as a suggestion. Favorite shopping day of the year is shopping during the year when there are sales at the end of the season. Absolutely, I agree. What about those of you who don't shop for the holidays? Good for you. Really good for you. This is much more for those people who do, as a way of becoming more money wise and having new tools and skills and understanding and insight how to not spend as much. Someone asked me what the third form was, and that was the holiday spending form, plan and log. And you know, they're all important, but that one is certainly very important. And someone shared another big holiday expense is charitable giving, and you are absolutely right. So many good options come up at the holiday, and it's hard to not keep giving. I have that problem, and you know, an important piece of that is also to make sure that the charities you are donating to are legitimate, and to find out what percentage of your donation actually goes to client work and how much goes to administrative. That's something that I spend time doing every year. Reference cards and postage. Many send e-cards or e-gift cards, so no expenses for sending, just the gift card itself. Okay, here's a question for you. What do you think is the most requested gift according to the research I found for the webinar? You can put that in the answer box now if you'd like. And this is really, really interesting. I asked you earlier on how much money the average American would spend on holiday gifts and goodies this year. Wow. I got some of the answers were $5,000, $1,500, $1,200, $2,500, $2,000. This is very interesting, and I'll tell you why. Whoa, someone just about hit it. Okay, then we came down to 600, 750. We have 3,000, 1,800. Okay, so this always surprises me this number has not really changed over the past few years, and that number is $700. But, of course, that is the average, so that means that half of the people will spend more and half of them will spend less. And I'll tell you what, I think I would be in a higher range. I probably would have guessed $1,000 or over. But a few years ago, I did a workshop, and I gave a piece of paper to all of the attendees. It was an IDA workshop, so these were for participants living below the poverty line, and I asked each of them to write the amount that they planned to spend at the holidays, and it was it really blew me away, because when the organization that I was doing this for added them all up and divided it by the number of attendees, it came to just about $700. Okay, so another question perhaps, those that buy typical gifts or support local causes or world causes, okay. The Buy Nothing New for a Year challenge. Lori, hi Lori. I have heard of that. Okay. Okay. How about including options like homemade gifts? None of the above. Absolutely. I'm only given 5 options, but I did mention, well, in those policies, I had suggested that you commit to making some of those gifts. What was the app website that allows you to lay away items online? If you Google layaway apps, I did find 2, but I really couldn't figure them out, to be honest with you, so they aren't included, but you can get them. Somebody put 68 days, but I'm not sure what that's for. From what I have seen, a person needs to identify and learn to identify how shopping may fill a void or provide comfort. That is absolutely true. It is a real problem, and it's part of emotional spending. But, you know, this workshop, this workbook, it's on a broader, more skills-based approach to holiday spending. So someone missed the first 15 minutes. If you're still on, yes, I guess you are, you will receive the recording and the ebook because you registered and attended. If I remember correctly, it's okay to let friends, coworkers know that you will not be buying Christmas presents due to budget. Be honest. Is that correct? Well, I think that honesty is always correct, quite frankly. Hey, maybe you want to share with coworkers our 6 Steps ebook and use that as a segue to why you won't be buying gifts. In this economy, I can't imagine that it would surprise you, anyone on this session, or your friends or colleagues or family, you know, that you are making this commitment and this is what you want to do. And if people don't support you, you need to rethink those relationships. In various sessions that I do on different topics, I will ask, actually, and that may be in the ebook, you know, who will support you in this effort and who will not. And then you know who to surround yourself with and who to avoid. So, you know, be honest, and it's nothing to be ashamed of or to hide. Are there any arrangements for doing the FSW program in sections? Are the CEs considered online CEs for North Carolina? There are national CEs, and to the best of my knowledge, actually Dora Lee, who is on this call, would probably know. I think there are 3 states in the country, 3 or 4 states that may not accept or honor NASW CEs, but North Carolina absolutely does. North Carolina actually has always given, and I don't know why, has always given 20 CEs for the certification to our North Carolina graduates. This is great information. Glad I joined. Well, thank you. I'm glad you joined too. Great webinar. Information is helpful for myself as well as those who we serve. What do we teach our children when we spend what we do not have? Wow. 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 Great question. Great question. We have 4-year-old grandchildren, and I spend a great deal of time figuring out how to teach them about money. I don't think that is, I've been doing that for over a year with the children. And, you know, depending on, sorry, here is another place to be age appropriately honest with your children. I'm just going to take a quick drink. We are teaching our children. We're either teaching them by example, good or bad, or specifically by talking with them and doing this age appropriately. And if you follow us on Twitter, you will see that I tweet a lot of articles. That's Financial MSW on Twitter. And here's my email if any of you need to email me. And our Facebook is where we post a motivational quote every day of the week. Can my community action agency share these forms on our website? Why don't you give me a call? Oh, I don't have, oh, there's our 800 number, 800-707-1002, and we can talk about that. Okay, so a bunch of you answered. What do you think the most popular requested gift is? A couple of you got it, and apparently, from what I've read, it is gift cards. I think somebody put in there $7,500. Consumables. So is the total of what you're spending on for gifts only? No, it's on everything. 68 days till Christmas. Thank you. How do I feel about regifting? Well, I feel that I'm not sure I want to go into that right now. I've been known that if I have a gift that I'm not going to use, I have donated it. I don't honestly see anything wrong with regifting. And some of the articles I wrote were very funny, and they were written by people who do regift. If you're not going to use it, somebody should use it. I might give it to a daughter-in-law or someone that I know could use it. Where do you get the book? You will get it emailed to you. And if not, there's my email. You can email me next week if you didn't get it. And I'm sure it'll be on our website and definitely on our Facebook page to download. I've asked my clients to set up a lump sum account along with a separate emergency fund account. This allows them to budget monthly for each of these accounts and not be caught when big bills and events come due. Excellent. Great idea. Thank you for sharing it. I don't think people really know how much they spend. They don't want to know the grand total. So asking someone how much they spent or plan to spend is not really getting real numbers. Excellent point, but here's the counter to that, and here's why I did the ebook, and that is it's attractive, the book. It's comprehensive. As I mentioned numerous times, it's a place where you can put all of this information into writing. And I totally agree with you. People don't want to know. Writing it down is very difficult. When I worked with private practice clients and asked them about their credit card debt, Most of them didn't have any idea how much they owed. They didn't know how many cards they had or what interest rates. And over time, as we got into that and they looked and saw the number of cards, the interest rates, and even entered the amount of the debt, I can't tell you that all of those numbers would be there, but they were never added up. So I started out, I think, on maybe the first slide under commitment in step 1 is that change is a choice. So it is a choice that you make with the spending plan, the holiday spending plan. You're working backwards. You're actually committing to an amount and then deducting from it. There are many different ways you can do this, but if you total it every day or you subtract the amount you've spent, you will see that number. And I don't doubt for a second that some people will stop doing it because it isn't easy. Obviously, you know the saying, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. Great insight. Thank you. Thanks, Rita. Do you have an idea about a different gift exchange at work? Yeah, I think that gift exchanges are the way to go, and I know many companies do that. You know, you pick one person out of the hat. Who do you really know, particularly working in human services, the helping fields, who can afford to give gifts to everyone in the agency or anyone in the agency? So that really makes a lot of sense. Do you know if Texas accepts the CEUs? I believe they do. Torley, if you remember that, if you could just answer that in this answer book, I can in the answer box, I'll know. I share some of what I learned in a newsletter put out by my senior high-rise. Great. What percentage of gift cards go unused by the recipient? Well, there's a great question. Now, I had that answer a few years ago, but you know, unfortunately, I think it's a significant amount. You know, part of credit card reform in 2009 required gift cards to be good for 5 years instead of the original 6 months or 12 months that they had been. But I don't know, something tells me, you know, if you get a gift card, you should spend it sooner than later before you forget about it, because I think a lot of people do forget about it. I think the book would be great. I'm just thinking that people can severely over or underestimate. Without a doubt. Okay, I have to log off. I will look for the email. Thank you. One of you shared a great ABC News Go column on used gift cards shrinking. Okay, well that's good. Well, that looks like the end of our comments and questions. I really want to thank all of you. I had a wonderful time. You were a great audience, and I hope to see you on November 12th, and that you'll join us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and be a part of our financial social work community. And of course, if you want to get certified, you absolutely should. Thanks. Have a great rest of the day. Bye now.